Welcome to everyone. Thank you for joining us today for the insightful webinar on generative AI, transforming small and medium enterprises for tomorrow. I am Vishal, your host, senior cloud architect at TechMint, and it brings me great pleasure to have you all. Let's dive into today's discussion that promises us both to be both engaging and informative, featuring our expert guest Helen Yu. Let me introduce you all to Helen Yu. She is a founder and CEO of a company, Tigon Advisory Corporation, a co-founder at the company Dark Kryptonite. It's a cybersecurity startup, a Wall Street Journal best-selling author, and the host of CXO Spice. She has been recognized as a top 50 women in tech, a top 30 thought leader in cybersecurity, AI, and financial services. Now, I would like to invite Helen to introduce herself to the guest. Please, Helen.
Hi, Vishal. Such a pleasure being here with all of you today.
Thank you. So before we deep dive into the main discussion, let me give you a brief about the company TechMint. TechMint Technology, headquartered in Raipur, Bhilai, India, with its subsidiary office in Plano, Texas, USA, is a global leader of innovative solutions in data and product engineering, artificial intelligence, and cloud services. With a proven track record spanning over a decade, we like to understand our clients' unique needs, infrastructure, and budget constraints to deliver tailored solutions that optimize the resources. So, with respect to this webinar is designed to be interactive. During the webinar, a few poll questions will appear on your screen for you to respond. We will at the end of this webinar, we are also going to have a question and answer session at the end where you can engage with our expert. Feel free to ask any questions during the session by dropping them in the chat box. Couple of key takeaways from this webinar. The first is we are going to offer a data maturity survey, which will offer a detailed analysis of your current data processes and landscape, identify areas for improvement and optimization. And the second one is we are also going to offer you our latest white paper, Data Strategy for Small and Medium Businesses, giving you insights about data strategy to suit your specific business needs and the budget. So now let's deep dive into the main segment. I'm sure that it's going to be an excellent session. So first question to you, Helen, is let's start with the basics. So I mean, we have everyone in the market knows this term generative AI. So everyone thinks about does it generate? I mean, what does it do in terms of all the domains? So in terms of basics, what is generative AI and how does it differ from the other forms of all the AIs?
Yeah, Vishal, before I talk about what is generative AI, let's talk about what AI is, right? There's tons of confusions out there. So AI is actually an interdisciplinary field that leverages mathematics and data to enable problem solving. And then generative AI is just a subset of AI, right? Involves creating, generating new data, images, text, or content from the existing data. Sometimes it can be inspired by existing data, right? So it operates on the principle of learning patterns from data set and then generating the instances, for example, that mimic those patterns they learn. So there's generative AI techniques often leverage deep learning models such as generative, there's a called GANs, that generative adversarial networks. There's also the VAEs we talk about, variational autoencoders, or this autoregressive models like transformers. So then recently, last November, we got ChatGPT, right? What GPT means? GPT really means generative pre-trained transformer. So that was a really significant breakthrough in AI. We have to recognize that the transformer model is the real game changer here. But we all know that transformer introduced by Google back in 2017, that really revolutionized machine learning by offering much more efficient approach to train the neural network models. Your question about how does generative AI differ from other forms of AI? Well, traditional AI models, we all know, focus on tasks like classification or regression, where the goal is to make predictions or decisions based on existing data. The generative AI, on the other hand, is more about creativity and innovation. It's about pushing the boundaries of what AI can do by enabling machines to generate new and original content with through the existing data, right? And then one of the really fascinating aspects of generative AI is its ability to operate in the unsupervised learning, right? In AI, you all know there's supervised learning and unsupervised learning. So it's very interesting, like a kid's learning how to run, right? If you teach a kid how to walk, most of the time they just run it on themselves. And that's how the generative AI learn. It really means the model learns from unlabeled data, sometimes unstructured data without explicit guidance, and then it opens up the possibility for discovery and exploration. There are tons of generative AI applications out there, as all of us know, but it's very narrow, right? It can create an visual artwork if you ask it to give enough of guidance, right? You can say, hey, can you draw a car for me? And then this car is a racing car, and then you can tell it what color you want, and it will return with that the description you provided. And then you can also generate content. Obviously, I sometimes write a blog that said, I have 3 options of the headline. Which one would you recommend based on the content, right? So it would tell you, and then it's quite interesting because it's interactive. So that really, but it's not, there are tons of challenges with generative AI as well. For example, people can taint the model. You can really enter information or misinformation to the model. Model won't be able to tell which one is accurate, which one is inaccurate, so that it would return with false information, unfortunately. And then it can also help the hackers to create humanized emails, and then for social engineer type of hacking as well. But I believe overall, generative AI is an exciting area of research, right? That's not only expands the capability of AI, but also raises great questions about creativity, innovation, and the nature of intelligence itself.
Awesome. Thank you, Helen, for answering this. I think you have captured it very well. Generative AI plays a very important role by seeing the complex data to improve what is going to come in the future, and decision, and also help in decision making. It benefits various industries with prompt decision making using data driven insights. So on a different note, the non-generative AI is better at making, I would say, automating the task and solving the issues. So with this in mind, Helen, let's start with a poll question. So audience, you are going to notice a poll question on the screen. You have 30 seconds to respond. So the question is there on the screen, including all the four answers. So it's going to be a timed poll. And then once we get all the insights with respect to the answer, we are going to discuss this with you, Alan. And nice. Okay. So video answers, I think with respect to the highest choice, highest option which has been chosen. And I would repeat the question for you, Helen. So the poll question is, which parts of your business do you think would benefit the most if generative AI was used? And the and the chosen answer with the like highest vote says process automation and optimization. So would you like to share thoughts on this, Alan?
Yeah, absolutely. I echo what the audience just said, right? Process automation optimization absolutely is an area that we can leverage generative AI. For example, when it comes to marketing, right? Marketing, if you think about there are different aspects of marketing, there's a content marketing aspect where you can really leverage generative AI to come up with ideas, right? To really show you what are the things that what's the most talked about today, the trend topic. Right. And then you can also say, what is, those are things that within internal, like if you're talking about, if you're a technology company, you can also do market research, right? Within using leveraging tool. Well, please bear in mind there's limitation with the tool, right? Not everything returned from the tool will be accurate. You have to make sure when you leverage that to do anything, you double check and validate the accuracy. Also, there's a time bound, right? If you're using older version of ChatGPT, it's only have data up to 2021. And if you need most recent research, you still need to work with the research companies and to ensure you have the latest information. And then there's also the customer stories, right? If you're trying to write a customer success stories, you can also pull information to say, I'm looking for a story, and do you have any information? I want a data point for certain things. I actually leverage generative AI for research for my paper sometimes, white paper. You can say, I need information. I need to know, the statistics for this topic, and then it will return some of the data. Then you can go to Google to validate, and then making sure you have the data sources quoted in your paper, right? So it's very interesting. Then in terms of internal process, it's quite interesting because for small, medium enterprises, the primary challenge is to establish an end-to-end consumer marketing strategy that could effectively boost sales and streamline the customer purchasing journey, optimize their lead generation at the lowest possible cost per lead. You think about it, and I'm fortunate I've been serving on the board for Kinfolks, their marketing agency. They created this generative AI solution, and then they leverage Gen AI to create a solution to help their customers gain much deeper insights into consumer behavior, right? That allow their customers to better understand market trends, consumer preferences, and then inspire some novel solutions and uncover untapped opportunities. For example, for a soft drink company, they can know, where they have the most opportunities based on the flavor of the drink, or the preference of their consumers. So down to that level segmentation of the market, and it's very interesting. And then the other day, I had a client who was challenged with their data extraction from Avaya. They were supposed to migrate information data from Raya integrated with existing a new platform. They were frustrated with the fact they couldn't meet the deadline. And then one of our consultants said, hey, have you tried ChatGPT? You can just write a SQL query to pull the data out of Avaya. Guess what? It worked. Within a few hours, we were able to write a SQL query, pull the data out of Avaya, and then upload it. Obviously, with a subset of data we have to test, it took much more time to test, ensure the accuracy of the data. But they were able to meet their timeline, right? So magic like that happens, but AI is not a magic. It has tons of work behind the scene. It requires people who understand the technology. You have to understand, even though it helps you to guide you, you still have to understand to guide the AI on how to prompt that query. You still need to have the data, right? You need to have the tables to match map the table. So there are a lot of work involved. Human has to be in the loop in order to make that happen.
Right. I mean, completely right. Right, Helen. I completely agree with you. In terms of, as you said, that it is not a magic, which is a very rightly said by you that it's. I mean, so we think that okay, if it is like all in the background, it's a generative AI or non-generative AI. I mean, it is going to make a robot or something, but no, it's not magic. We need to deal with data and also, I mean, how it works. Uh, in terms of what you said, I think integrating generative AI into different areas of your business can bring big benefits. Whether it's improving customer service, making better tools, boosting sales. It can surely help the businesses stay competitive and grow successfully. So this leads me to ask you a second question, Helen.
Mhm.
So how can this technology, which is a generative A, AI, helps small and medium sized businesses come up with new ideas and tools?
Mhm. I guess I gave a couple examples earlier. The best way of thinking of this, because generative AI can't just generate things out of the blue, right? As a business, small business, medium business, you have to learn how to ask questions. You have to know what questions to ask for you to grow, right? And then that's being said, generative AI force you to take a step back to think about, okay, what do I really want to accomplish, right, in the next 3 to 6 months or a year or two? And then in order to make that happen, what needs to be true? And then because if you cannot figure that out, you cannot leverage generative AI. So in a way, it forces you to be more strategic, to put just, I mean, you can't see the forest through the trees, right? You have to step back and then to revisit, rethink how you're going to go about the business. To me, that's the best way of thinking how generative AI can help you innovate. Honestly, you should have the innovative mindset with or without generative AI, right? It's like, it's not about really relying on the tools to be innovative, is having that growth mindset to constantly change, have a new way of thinking, way of doing things, that generative AI is just a tool that you can leverage, right, along with other technologies to help you, but you need to have the people, you need to have the culture to build that innovative growth overall. That's my point of view on this.
Right. I see your point. Helen. I mean, and also what you said. I mean, on the same lines, I think the small and medium businesses face a challenge of making the profits while keeping the costs down. So it is not like big companies where they have fewer resources to take risks. Generative AI helps to make value by finding new ways. So uh, all this new tech which they are going to use can be bit tricky because of the new challenges. So this is where this is where the technology partners like TechMint come into uh, help them with this. So so now next, going to the next poll question for the audience. So there is going to be next second poll question, and it is going to be on the screen. So let's see what's the poll question, and then we can surely discuss about the outcome of the poll. So sorry, let's wait for the answers to be completed, and then we can surely have a look into it. So yeah, I mean, we'll just wait for a couple of seconds, and then we can continue with the poll insights. So as of now, the question which is being asked in the poll is, what challenges do you think might come up when you try to use generative AI in your company? So I see that the most voted response or the choice is data security and privacy. So do you want to share any thoughts on this, Helen?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I think data security and privacy, by far is number one challenge, right? First of all, because once you put the data into AI or generative AI, there's no control about the ownership of that at the moment, right? And that's being said, there is a setting, if you are using ChatGPT, whatever that is, there is a setting that allows you to turn off so that your data is not being captured or saved in the data. So there's a setting you can do. And then secondly, you should never put in confidential information into AI model without being approved, right? Or you need to understand the consequence of using AI or generative AI to begin with. And then to me, at the end of the day, definitely we need a more advanced model that can really prevent certain things from the get-go. Please bear in mind that AI, right, is a double-edged sword. And as much as we can benefit from AI, the bad characters can do so as well, right? They can leverage AI to create phishing email, more humanized phishing email. It looks really as if it's real coming from the source and there are tons of ways for them to really to hack, or there's social engineer hacking, leveraging generative AI or AI in general as well. So, but just being fearful does not help. We need to understand and learn, and then be vigilant about how to really take steps and actions to prevent that from happening, or not preventing, or to really manage the situation.
Right. I think
and then I also agree the cost of implementation is really high, could be high, right, when it comes to enterprise level adoption of AI. So you have to understand, some people think, hey, you can plug into AI into your existing infrastructure. That's not the case. And then you have to understand, do you have the capacity, the infrastructure, can they integrate with your existing footprint? And if not, what it really needs to happen before you adopt a model. But you can always experiment with a low-cost model to experiment. And that's what I typically recommend to begin with. Obviously, having the right talent always matters. It's so important to ensure you have the resources internally, or maybe third party consultant can also help you out with.
Right. I completely see your point, Alan. And this also brings me to the next question, which is, I think this poll was also linked to the next question, which is, what are the common challenges small businesses might face when implementing the generative AI solutions? So I think you have already covered this point, where it can be the cost, it can be the skilled resources where it is difficult to find. Also in terms of the data security, that whatever we send to the ChatGPT or different tools, your data should be confidential. So there are different challenges as we discussed. And anything else that you want to add?
Yeah, there are a couple of things that I'd like to add here, Vishal. Number one is lack of clarity on business objectives and success criteria. Oftentimes, when I work with small, medium enterprises, they don't have the deeper pocket as the larger enterprise, and they tend to skip the steps, right? Just they wanted to get this thing done. I ask them, what do you want to accomplish through doing this? And sometimes they cannot answer, right? It's just because my executive wants us to do. And then why do you need to create this new product? Because we want to generate more revenue. But will the new product generate new revenue? And have you done the research on the total available addressable market? No. And then challenge them to ask them, right? And so these are the things, lack of clarity sometimes, just to go experiment AI alone is not good enough objective to leverage AI, right? Or generative AI. So you have to tie that to, I always say tie that to a non-critical mission, non-mission critical initiative, and experiment that, but always tie that to a business objective. For example, you can say, we want to improve the hiring efficiency, right? Hiring process efficiency. Then you can go, that's a use case. And then here's how many days it takes us to hire people. Here's the, success. Our success criteria, you want to reduce that by 5 days. Those specific goal can help you better off coming up with a generative AI experimentation. And then secondly, the data challenge, right? If you decide to go with that use case, what is the data? Do you have the data that support this? Because the AI does not just run by itself. It needs all the data, the duration in number of years of data or whatever duration you decide, and those are data point, are the data accurate, right? And then you want to make sure the quality, not only having the data, but the quality of the data, is the volume sufficient because you need that data to train the AI model, generative AI model, so that you can really make it relevant, consistent, and then making sure, what about the, privacy, right? If you have the data, you have the sufficient volume, does that violate the privacy, data privacy? So there are things, that risk management is another thing you have to think about, right? The ethical use of that. And then the other thing is, you cannot change management. You can never ignore the psychological impact on employees AI will have. So all those things should be taken into consideration. We talk about technical complexity integration earlier, but all those things need to be taken into consideration. It's not an IT established initially. It should be IT and business talk together, right? Come up with that roadmap, working in collaboration to begin with. And then this culture of learning, you got to make sure the resources are fully trained, and you need to build much better AI literacy across the board, from your board member to your executive team, all the way through within an organization. That's how you can, empower more successful AI deployment.
Right. I completely agree with you, Helen. I mean, you have brought up a very important point about the challenges. The biggest challenge is like the high cost of integration, including the building infra, the need for the skilled resources, and the ongoing maintenance. So, but the good thing is that by leveraging technology firms like us, who specialize in in this kind of integration, businesses can get tailored solutions within their budgetary constraints, ensuring a smoother adoption process. So with this, I would also like to shift our focus slightly towards innovative solutions that SMEs can develop. So this reminds me of a recent project that our company has been working on. So we have also built a tool where it is used a large language model based conversation AI, which is capable of intelligently extracting information in the form of PDF documents and generating insightful visualizations for users and decision makers. So it is a great tool that we have built, and as a company, we have a command in this space also. So now moving to the next part. So Helen, based on your expertise, how do you see such advancements impacting the approach to problem solving and decision making in the future?
Can you repeat that question, Vishal?
Sure. So how do you see such advancements impacting the approach to problem solving and decision making in the future?
I would say that when you say decision making, and then how do I affect? I honestly don't think generative AI should really affect your decision making. They would really help you to make more informed decisions, right? Honestly, and that's because when you have generative AI, you might be able to anticipate scenarios more completely, right? You can literally do the scenario planning through leveraging the AI model, generative AI model, to ensure that you take all the potential factors into your decision, and it may give you visibility, right? Can you data analysis to give you the visibility into these scenarios faster and sooner. And then you could have real-time, capability to have real-time data, right, faster. And then that would allow the users or the leaders to make more informed decision. To me, that's really the power, a superpower of the AI. But as I said, if you don't have the data set, you don't have the volume, sufficient volume of data, it really doesn't matter. It's like I call garbage in, garbage out data, right? your process is really convoluted within the organization, your data quality is very poor, whatever you have, even though you leverage AI to return the information, it still wouldn't help you to make the effective decision. So you need to make sure you have the foundations, right? And then to ensure that those foundations are available and there, and that's super critical. So this is why at the beginning I talked about there's tons of confusion about AI, and then people need to understand AI is not a magic. It's not a one size that fits all or it solves all the problem. AI is just another tool. It's about mathematics and data, right? If you don't have the data, you don't have the algorithm to really or good quality data, it still doesn't solve the business problem you have. So I would say I advise the small, medium business leaders to still focus on building the basics, foundations of your business, and then you can then leverage AI to enhance. You mentioned about conversational AI. I love that because that's super powerful, right? If you have, especially when it comes to customer services, I also am an advisor for Pipestream. It's a conversational AI company based out of New York. And then they do what they do. If you have a customer service center in the old days, live agent, right? You can call so much per hour, but now you can combine the conversational AI agent along with the live agent. Think about, right? If you make a phone call in the old days, we can only work during certain hours a day. Now, if it's off hours, you can bounce the calls to a conversational AI chatbot, and they can pick up the call to answer all the basic questions. Then they can keep the complex questions, forward that to a live agent. So the combination of human and robot or AI chatbot can really solve the challenges that we were not able to solve many years ago. Now, right, I prefer to talk to live person, but now I cannot even really tell when I call United or call the hotel. Sometimes, you cannot really tell because they're so seamless. And so it's just fascinating to see the evolution of AI or evolution of technology today.
Right. As also you said, I mean, when you call different companies for your tickets, also I have called several companies, and somewhere also this model doesn't work because when you call them up, you ask a question, that voice will say you ask a question, and when your question is not framed in a right way, it will keep a loop. So also that is a drawback until it is completely based on the right model and being completely trained. So
yeah, I mean, also they work with TriWest as a insurance company, right? Users can go online to file the claim automatically and then use the chatbot. You can on the mobile app, and then so it's very slick. Imagine you have to sit on the line. I sometimes get on the phone. You wait for 40 minutes to get a simple thing resolved. If you can just do that on mobile, talking to conversational chatbot, and then it's very enriched interface, right? I'd rather not to wait. And sometimes if you're doing the banking, right? I love my mobile banking capability. I don't feel comfortable to talk to someone to share my private information. I'd rather be online, really make things happen and without the voice capability, right? Think about it, because when you're at the airport waiting for your flight, you have an hour extra time. You can take care of a lot of things while you're on the go without talking, because you don't want your personal information to be disclosed, right? And that's the power of the AI. Yeah.
That's right. Thank you for giving insights on that. As you have rightly mentioned, generative AI will simplify problem solving by seeing the data and offering new solutions, and this will surely help the businesses make better decisions and innovate more efficiently in the future. So with this, it has brought us to the end of the session. Now the forum is open for any questions from the audience. So I think already I do have a couple of questions, Helen, for you. So let us take it one by one. So the first question is from David Smith, and his question is, how does the performance of generative AI models scale with increasing data and computational resources?
Well, it really, it does require, AI does require the capacity, and then it does require infrastructure, I say modern infrastructure. When you talk about, I talked about earlier about the transformer, right? The two things in the new era of AI. Number one is a transformer. That's truly a game changer. And number two, that was introduced by Google. And then the other thing is the scale, and talk about scalability, right, have been further amplified by the advancement in hardware. If you guys know the NVIDIA processor, massive investment in cloud computing infrastructure, right? So it requires the processors, it requires the computing, the cloud infrastructure. And so those are the things, when you talk about the AI machine learning, those are things you have to make sure you have. And then because of the processing capacity and neural learning capabilities, those are all critical for you to have the powerful processors and computing, cloud computing. So people need to understand, right? When you want to implement AI, when you have scalability and performance, do you have those basics, right? The processors that are required. And then, you have to tune them, right? Based on the volume of data you have, the computing power you need may be different, depends on the industry you're in, and also depends on what you want to accomplish leveraging AI. So to me, think about, are you on cloud, and then do you have the processors that are required? Those are the things you have to think about.
I really hope. Thank you, Alan. I mean, hope this answers question of David. So let's move to the next question, which is from Michael. So his question is: can you share insights on the feature developments and trends in generative AI that may be relevant for small and medium businesses or enterprises?
I would think when you think about AI, it's essentially to look beyond generative AI, right? I think you need to we need to explore broader landscape of AI and machine learning. There are tons of applications there for small medium business. If you think about, let me think about, as I give a couple examples earlier. For example, for small, medium business, you may not be able to afford the full staff of sales team. And then when you write a sales pitch, right? If you write a proposal to your target prospect, you can leverage generative AI to generate, right? Like Kinfolks is one of the companies I work with. They help you generate the targeted proposal to your target customer is much lower cost. And the thing is that you can do that, you can create that yourself too, right? Based on the business of your target customer or prospect, and then what nature of business, and then you can leverage to generate some of the to the point sales proposal. That's one use case, right? The other thing is marketing. I talk about marketing generation, content generation. Maybe you can, leverage generative AI to write more successful customer stories, right? You can pull your success stories and what you've done for them. They had, before implementing your solution and after, and then you can have generative AI to generate those success stories, and then take that back to your customer, have them validate the accuracy of that. And then thirdly, you can do market research, right? For you to figure out market trend, leveraging the market trend to see, I want to develop a new product line. And then can you help me understand which market has the most demand for this product line? Here's what it does. But as I mentioned earlier, you have to know what questions to ask. For those of you who want to learn about the questions to ask, my book, Ascend Your Startup, right? Within that, I have questions along the way. As you grow as a company from market to idea to market, idea to product market to scale, there are 26 questions you got to ask yourself, right? Within each phase, there are more questions. As a leader, as a matter of fact, you may not have answers to everything, but as long as you have questions to ask, you are able to generate answers, right, to your questions. So to me, there are many tons of use cases you can leverage generative AI, but I wouldn't treat that as one size as a magic, right? It still requires your critical thinking, your guidance, requires the good quality of data, requires people with a skill set for you to build. I also, gave an example earlier about the data extraction. So there are tons of things you can use from non-technical to technical field when running a when running a business, leveraging generative AI.
Got it. I think Mike, this would have surely answered Michael's question. So let's move on to the next question, which is from Ramesh. So his question is: does open source generative AI models lowers the risk of data security, as we can download the model onto our on-prem without exposing data to someone else's server? Did you get that question, Helen, or should I repeat? Sorry, good.
Can you repeat that question, Vishal?
Sure. So it is a question from Ramesh. He is saying that he's asking that does open source generative AI models lowers the risk of data security, as we can download the model onto our on-prem without exposing data to someone else's server?
Okay. Well, there's definitely a general concern with data security, right? And when leveraging AI, at least in today's environment, not every single AI solution is, I would say, protects the data. So you have to, this is why, back to my earlier comments, you have to be very mindful about what data you feed into the AI model. Right? It's not, whatever you feed in, you should check the settings, or some early stage startup don't even have the setting. They do not allow you to turn it off or to not to store your data. So you have no choice but using that if it's a free solution. So be very mindful not to really load in any private information or confidential information. For example, your product roadmap should never be uploaded there unless you have a private AI just for your product team, right? And then anything that, if you have going through a merger acquisition, or you're looking for, you should also not to use AI unless it's a private feature, just tailored just to your business. So that's being said, every time I talk about AI being a double-edged sword, right? And the benefit and risk go in tandem. Unfortunately, that's the case here. So you have, having that awareness and be aware of the risk. It's back to my earlier point about risk management is so critical here, right? To make sure your employees don't just dump all the data into the AI model without knowing the consequence of doing that, because maybe it improves your productivity, but then the consequence of gaining might have some really unexpected, or some of the unexpected outcome that you do not want to have, right? You don't want that data to be taken away from bad actors, basically. So you make sure you educate your employees or your customers, or even your contractors, to ensure that they don't just load the information into the AI model without being careful, without understanding what that entails.
Got it. I mean, for sure. I mean, surely this would have answered Ramesh's question. And keeping time in mind, we will take a couple of questions more. So the next question is from Antonio, and his question is: what are the potential cost-saving benefits for SMEs in adopting generative AI solutions?
What was that, Vishal? Can you repeat that one more time?
So should I repeat that? I think yeah, there is a lag. I think there's a lag of internet. So let me again repeat. It is from this question is from Antonio. His question is: what are the potential cost-saving benefits for SMEs in adopting generative AI solutions?
Okay. So when it comes to cost saving, this is where I wanted to caution the small, medium company, AI may not save the cost if it requires you to upgrade your infrastructure, right? It may not solve, reduce the cost right away. My point, maybe you can do some things here and there and then reduce the headcount here and there, but it does require the infrastructure. I talk about and maybe it requires more powerful processors, depends on what you're trying to do. Interesting because, for example, there are certain things you can still leverage just the basic tools you have today, right? To do, you don't have to rely on AI for everything. But understanding what AI can do for potentials, right? And that's very critical. And then you need to do some analysis, cost benefit analysis before you just go with AI, everything. And I personally, if you are a small, medium business and trying to figure out, if you implement that solution, will that benefit your customers, right? If you have customers there, are they going to use this with you? It's not just you leveraging. If like you're an insurance company, maybe you want to file, improve the claim process or underwriting process, then you can also check with your customer to say, are they going to file the claim using this tool if you upgrade your system? It's not, so you have to really do some due diligence before you go ahead and do so, but you need to take in consideration into the resource of talent you need to hire and infrastructure you need to upgrade, all those into your overall analysis, right? Not just go, hey, let's do it just because there's AI hype out there.
Okay, so that would have answered Antonio's question. So let's take the next question from Rishi Rai. His question, like Helen, is like chatbot. What are the main doable business cases? I think there are plenty.
Yeah.
So like using this technology in chatbot, what are the main doable business cases?
Okay. Well, there are tons of business cases as I described earlier, right? I talk about writing a SQL query to extract data out of your existing system and then put that into your new system. But it requires human in the loop, right? And then you can also in the financial services, there are tons of analysis you can do. For example, loan approval, right? In approval. And then, but there's a bias in AI data. So be careful when you use that. You have human in loop to verify the accuracy of the model. And then there's also in manufacturing, right? There also you can also leverage AI to monitor the machine, our maintenance, right? Are they due? Because in the traditional way is that, hey, you schedule them, right? Every machine is being, maintained. They off schedule for, every other 6 months or 2 hours, and then AI can monitor because the wear and tear machine varies based on the usage, and then it can really help you to maintain the machinery smarter, and so save the cost and then reduce the downtime. And then there are also, I talk about content generating earlier for marketing, and then finance team, even if you want to, just to look at the two statement, you want to have AI identify the variance between the two, you can leverage that doing much faster. But however, Excel can do that too, right? I don't want you to go nuts about AI. You don't have to use AI to do everything, but you only use it if you want to use that to experiment. There are tons of use cases to do so. I work with other customers where they trying to improve their hiring process, and HR can do. And then operations or sales, right? Sales can really look into the sales performance. They can, there are many things, or you can get sales team trained on certain things, and then AI can help you to monitor their, efficiency of being trained, enablement. So there are many use cases that can be applied to you, but your business case will be different from others. So it really depends on what you want to accomplish. start with what you want to accomplish first, and then come up with a measurable success criteria to for before you jump into the AI wagon.
Rightly said. Rightly said, Helen. I mean, this would have surely answered Rishi Rai's question. And the last question we are going to take is from Hassan. And his question is, in your opinion, which industries stand to gain the most from integrating generative AI technologies?
Based on what I read so far, right? Travel, hospitality, 74%. I just read this article yesterday. 74% of them already have AI, right? Obviously, and then you look at when you travel, you always have a mobile app, so there's tons of AI. But not everything is generative AI, as I mentioned earlier, right? There could be, or mobile banking, right? A lot of you use mobile banking already. And then I think they're just financial service has tons of massive opportunities out there. A lot of companies already experimenting or leveraging that. But the pervasive AI deployment is only 11% based on what I read so far. So it's on the rise and still not pervasive just yet, because enterprise deployment takes so much effort and then validation. And then I personally actually deployed AI at a global bank. It's about 6.5 years ago. Wow. The time it took to deploy AI is mainly about, getting alignment internally about what exactly you want to accomplish, right? And then, just getting aligned between IT and business alone, it could take months sometimes. But taking that time is really necessary. And then building the algorithm and AI, I think generative AI is a breakthrough, right? And because the original models, regression, all those models we build was more supervised learning with limited set of data. It's difficult, but now with unsupervised learning capability and with the creativity generative AI has, and then there are tons of more things can be done in today's environment.
Okay, I think that will surely have answered Hassan's question. So with this, all the questions have been taken and have answered by you, Helen. Thank you for that. And then with this, let me take the moment to express my sincerest gratitude to all the audience for actively coming in today's session. And I have few important things to just to let the audience know. First is a free download of our latest white paper is there, which is called as Data Strategy for Small and Medium Businesses. And the second is a free data maturity assessment. So it's a link, and after this webinar, you will receive the relevant links in your mailbox so that you can see them. And also, I request audience to submit a quick post webinar survey form that will pop up after you log out from this webinar. Meanwhile, I would also like you to invite Helen to talk about your special thing that you see from this webinar. Any last concluding remarks, Helen?
I would say really generative AI offers small, medium enterprises a powerful tool to drive innovation, foster creativity, and develop competitive advantage. However, it's not a magic, right? It's just a math and data that enable you to solve some problems. You have to know what problems to solve. And then do you have the data and quantity and quality of the data to solve the problem? Do you have the resources, the infrastructure to solve the problem? So I'd say don't be afraid of AI and get on to learn about what it is. To be honest, no one is an expert when it comes to AI, right? Or technology, because things evolve constantly. So create a culture of learning and create a culture of innovation, that's so important, right? And then as you get on the innovation path, don't forget the growth thrives at the intersection of growth, intersection of humanity and technology. So we can never ignore the impact, psychological impact on human. And then at the end of the day, humans should be in the loop to ensure successful deployment of technology. Technology is just a mean, not the end.
Well said. Well said, Helen. With this, I would like to conclude this session. Let me take a moment to extend our heartfelt thanks to our guest speaker, Helen. Thank you, and for joining us today. Your insights have been very truly valuable, and we are grateful for your time and expertise. And thanks also thanks to our wonderful audience. Your participation made this webinar successful. Feel free to reach out through our website, which is www.techment.com, or drop us like a mail to info@techment.com, which is there now in your chat window. Once again, thank you all. Thank you.